Greetings, everyone, and welcome. I'm the Chancellor Soul Mike Boone. You tune in to another edition of Soul Facts, a show highlighting the history and music of legendary artists and preserving their legacies. In this edition features a talented lady whose gifted contributions as a singer and songwriter helped define the high Memphis sound worldwide and established her as one of the great artists of the Southern Soul era of the late 1960s throughout the 1970s and 80s. Soul Facts Spotlight Artist Tribute to Miss Ann Peebles. Born Sunday, April 27, 1947, in Kennewick, Missouri, Ann Lee Peebles, the seventh child of 11 children, began her musical roots at the tender age of 5 when her father, Perry Peebles, a minister, singer, pianist, and guitarist of the First Baptist Church, taught her her first song, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, for a school fundraiser and talent show. At age 9, Ann joined the Peebles Choir, founded by her grandfather and directed by her father. The Peebles Choir consisted of Ann's brothers and sisters, nieces, and nephews. All were raised singing in the choir. The choir traveled the country opening shows for gospel stars like Mahalia Jackson and the Soul Stirrers, featuring future R&B pop legend Sam Cooke, among others. Peebles was influenced by R&B performers such as Muddy Waters, Mary Wells, and Aretha Franklin. Ann's parents encouraged her to listen to secular music as a learning experience. They said anything different you listen to helps you to learn what other people, especially musicians, are up to. Ann Peebles first ventured into R&B when she began traveling to St. Louis, escorted by her supportive father to sing in local nightclubs. It was on the club circuit that Peebles made an important connection with musician band leader Oliver Sane and his review. Sane helped launch the careers of vocalist keyboardist Fontella Bass and singer Bobby McClure, who later both signed with Chess Records in Chicago. Ann joined the Oliver Sane Review and sang with the musicians numerous times throughout the mid-1960s. In 1968, fate gave Ann Peebles an opportunity for a future success. Peebles' brother, who served in the armed forces, came home to St. Louis on a furlough. He brought his girlfriend, who lived in Memphis, with him. When he drove her back to Tennessee, Ann rode with them. As they arrived in the city, they stopped at a local nightclub called the Rosewood and met musician, songwriter, and band leader Gene Bowlegs Miller, a veteran of the Memphis music scene who led one of the most popular bands in town and recorded for High Records. Peebles asked if she could sing a number with the band, and he said yeah. Ann wowed Miller with a rendition of Steal Away, a song written and originally recorded by singer Jimmy Hughes in 1964. Impressed with the young vocalist's performance, Miller told her she should be signed to a record label. Peebles said yeah, that's what she originally wanted to do. Gene Miller then arranged an audition at High Records with his vice president, musician, and producer Willie Mitchell. After the audition, Mitchell offered Peebles a recording contract on the spot. Ann couldn't sign at the time because she was under 21. So her father had to travel to Memphis and sign the contract. Willie Mitchell recorded, produced, and engineered Ann Peebles' session on the board for the first time, while band leader Oliver Sane penned her first debut single entitled Walk Away, back with I Can't Let You Go, issued in March 1969. The song charted number 22 R&B on May 10th.
got to stop crying. Get up. Ooh, yeah. And walk away. You're not gonna get away. I can't let you go. I can't let you go. I can't let you go.
A follow-up, Give Me Some Credit, back with Solid Foundation, released in July, stalled at number 45 R&B on October 4th of 1969.
Hey, give me some credit where it's due. Honey, yeah. Baby, I need love. I gotta be on a solid foundation.
A third single, I'll Get Along, back with Generation Gap Between Us, issued on Saturday, February 28th, 1970, failed to chart.
But I get along. I get along. I get along. I get along. You know I will. There's a generation gap between us. We can't get along no more.
In between single releases, High Records issued an album entitled This Is Ann Peebles in July 1969. The LP contains songs by Betty Swan, Aretha Franklin, Betty LaVette, the Isley Brothers, and the track that Ann sang at the Rosewood Club that jump-started her career, Steal Away.
I know it's late. Oh, I can't wait. Come on and steal away. Please steal away.
For some time, Peebles traveled between Memphis and St. Louis to work at High Records. Ann said those were some good times. Willie Mitchell was a father-type figure to her. He would take her to meet disc jockeys and visit in various nightclubs. She can go to the clubs as long as she had a chaperone with her. The friendly family atmosphere at High gave Peebles courage to move to Memphis. Soon after, producer Willie Mitchell paired Ann Peebles with an in-house singer-songwriter at High named Don Bryant. The pair didn't hit it off at first. Bryant was a little resentful in the beginning because he was concentrating on building his singing career. But as things began to progress in the company, he realized that he enjoyed doing production work, writing and producing most of the up-and-coming signed artists at the label, including one from Forest City, Arkansas, named Al Green. And Peebles' fourth release, Part-Time Love, a remake of the 1963 Grammy-nominated classic originally recorded by R&B blues singer Little Johnny Taylor, back with I Still Love You, was the first song to crack the R&B Top 10, hitting number 7 on Billboard Soul Singles Chart on November 14, 1970.
Gotta find me a part-time love. And I just called you up to say I still love you, baby.
The song's success helped focus on the independent singer and her producer Willie Mitchell on the direction they wanted to take with their refined high soul sound. Ann loved working at High and its atmosphere. She said it became home to her. The writers, like Don Bryant, who she slowly began to warm up to, the musicians, and Willie gave her the zing to sing. After Part-Time Love charted, an album had to be produced. Now, since there weren't enough material in the vaults, the company repackaged Ann's debut album, This Is Ann Peebles, and retitled it Part-Time Love, released in 1970. 6 tracks were deleted from her first album, while a few B-sides were added to the roster, including Peebles' co-composed tune, I'll Get Along, and Generation Gap Between Us. The album charted number 40 on Billboard Soul LP on February 20th, 1971. Hi Records issued more classic hit singles on Ann Peebles, including I Pity the Fool, back with Heartaches, Heartaches, originally recorded by O.V. Wright in 1967 on Backbeat, hit number 18 R&B on April 18th of 1971.
I pity the fool. Whoa, I pity the fool. You give me heartache, that's what you do. That's what you do. Keep on doing to me.
Slipped, Tripped, and Fell in Love, back with 99 Pounds, a song composed by Ann's now boyfriend Don Bryant's tributed identification and admiration for Peebles, charted number 42 R&B on September 25th, 1971. Breaking Up Somebody's Home, back with Trouble, Heartaches, and Sadness, number 13 R&B on March 25th of 1972.
Stop knocking at my door.
Somebody's on Your Case, back with I've Been There Before, number 32 R&B on September 16th of 1972.
Somebody's on your case. You better get on your job. Get on it. Somebody's on your case, girl. You better get on your job. How do I know? How do I know? How do I know? Oh, I've been there before. I've been there before.
I'm Gonna Tear Your Playhouse Down, back with One Way Street, number 31 R&B on March 13th of 1973.
I'm gonna tear your playhouse down. Pretty soon, taking bitter with the sweet, traveling the wrong way on the one-way street.
The label released Ann Peebles' third masterpiece album entitled Straight from the Heart in 1972. A memorable song from the album is What You Laid on Me, a tune Peebles co-wrote with her dear friend Denise LaSalle.
Stand aside of someone, get it? Oh, what you laid on me, what you laid on me, baby.
Backing band for all of Ann Peebles' recordings were the High Rhythm Section. The LP hit number 42 R&B on May 27th of 1972.
In my heart, I know you don't do whatever you wanna do.
The High Rhythm Section were the house band of Willie Mitchell's High Records label from the mid-1960s throughout the late 1970s. The band included three Hodges brothers: organist Charles Hodges, bassist Leroy Hodges, and guitarist Mayborn Teeny Hodges, together with pianist Archie Turner or Michael Allen and drummer Howard Grimes, with Stax Records drummer of Booker T and the MGs, Al Jackson Jr., on some of the recordings until his death in 1975. The label also recruited the Memphis Horns, consisted of Wayne Jackson on trumpet, Andrew Love tenor saxophone, Ed Logan tenor saxophone, along with Willie Mitchell's brother James as an arranger, and Perry Michael Allen on piano. The high rhythm section were featured on many hit recordings made famous by Ann Peebles, Al Green, Willie Mitchell, Otis Clay, Syl Johnson, and many others. The recordings were made at Royal Recording Studios in Memphis, Tennessee, originally a movie theater called the Royal that converted into Royal Studios in 1957, home of High Records, inception in 1956 by musical entrepreneur Joe Quogue, with partners record producer Quentin Clonch, who later launched his Gold Wax Records in 1964, and John Navarese. The name High stood for House of Instrumentals. Producer-musician Willie Mitchell signed with High in 1963 as a session trumpeter, churning out several instrumental hits for the label. Owner Joe Quogue made Mitchell vice president of High Records in June of 1970. Quogue sadly passed away the following month on Monday, July 13th. Another key element in the High sound were the background vocals. Sandra Rhodes, Charlie Chalmers, and Donna Rhodes, who hail from Nashville, Tennessee, simply named Rhodes, Chalmers, and Rhodes. The trio provided background work for many R&B artists like Jimmy Hughes, Percy Sledge, Al Green, Kris Kristofferson, and Ann Peebles, just to name a few. They became accustomed to the vocal arrangements and the artist's style, note for note. The group sang background on numerous of Atlantic and High recordings during the 1960s and 1970s. Like Motown's Andantes, Rhodes, Chalmers, and Rhodes' vocal contributions were essential, authentic, genuine, and bona fide to the High sound.
Lay your head on my pillow.
By this time, Ann Peebles and singer-songwriter Don Bryant's relationship grew more than just being professional during their tenure at High Records. They fell in love. Although they continued to compose gilt-edged material, one of their supremely atmospheric songs would soon skyrocket Ann Peebles' career into international fame. Ann Peebles continued to issue hit R&B singles and released 3 classic albums. But one cold composition out of her work of art became the standard test of time. Her masterpiece recording of I Can't Stand the Rain. The song was inspired by a thunderstorm that was raging over Memphis one evening. Ann, her boyfriend Don Bryant, and a mutual friend, DJ Bernard Mr. B. Miller, were getting ready to go to a concert at the Coliseum in the city. The weather was so severe, the trio decided to wait until it clears. Anxious to get to the show, Ann exclaimed, "I can't stand this rain." Don Bryant said, "Hey, that's a great title." Meanwhile, Ann, Don, and Bernard, who never made it to the show, decided to stay and write around Peebles' exclaimed title. With a spurt of energy, the trio created the arrangements on the piano while recording it on tape. The very next day, they brought the song to the studio. Producer Willie Mitchell heard the tape and said, "Man, this is a smash." Mitchell suggested to use a brand new gadget called the electric timbale, drums to be exact, to create the song's distinctive raindrop pitter-patter sound. At first, Ann Peebles said the timbales were all throughout the song, but as we played the tape, Willie said, "What about if the timbales were in the front before anything comes in?" So we did that, and we listened back, and I said, "I love it. Let's do that." Produced by Willie Mitchell, I Can't Stand the Rain, back with I've Been There Before zoomed to the number 6 position on Billboard's Hot Soul Singles chart on October 27, 1973. It also hit number 38 pop and number 41 on the UK Singles Chart in April of 1974.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. Oh, I've been there before. I've been there before.
And premiered the song on Soul Train on Saturday, December 15, 1973. Episode 16, Season 3, along with Johnny Taylor and Maceo and the Max. I Can't Stand the Rain became Peebles' signature song and established her status internationally around the globe. It was also one of John Lennon's favorite songs, and in the Billboard magazine article, he quoted, "It's the best song ever."
Hey, when the rain, do you remember how sweet it used to be?
In 1978, the British R&B group Eruption, led by Jamaican vocalist Precious Wilson, covered I Can't Stand the Rain as a disco tune, making it an international hit, reaching number 1 in Belgium and Australia, number 5 in the UK, number 18 in the US Hot 100, and number 30 on the R&B charts.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. I can't stand the rain against my window, because he's not here with me.
Other cover versions of I Can't Stand the Rain were recorded 72 times or more by various artists from 1974 to 2005, including hit versions by Tina Turner in 1984 and innovative R&B rap artist Missy Misdemeanor Elliott on a platinum sample-selling single, The Rain, Super Duper Fly, in 1997.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories.
Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly, super duper fly. Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly, super duper fly. Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly.
Elliott showed her genuine love and respect for Ann Peebles when she requested for Ann to sing with her on her appearance on David Letterman's The Late Show in 1997.
Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly, super duper fly. Me, I'm super fly, super duper fly, super duper fly. Me, I'm super fly.
A self-titled classic LP, I Can't Stand the Rain, was issued in 1974, hitting number 25 on Billboard's Soul LPs chart on June 1st.
Bringing back sweet memories. Yeah, when the rain, do you remember how sweet it used to be?
During this time, Ann Peebles met John Lennon, where she appeared at the Troubadour Club in Los Angeles, California in February 1974. This was John Lennon's infamous 18-month lost weekend when he and Yoko Ono split. Accompanied by friends, Lennon proceeded to get hammered and stuck a Kotex sanitary towel to his head and expressed his affections to Ann in vulgar terms during her set. Being professional, people smiled at the amusement and kept performing. The next day, embarrassed by his behavior, John Lennon located Ann at the hotel where she was staying and apologized to her, and quoted, "I am so sorry. I made a monkey of myself." Peebles told him it was all right and that she understood. Don Maurice Bryan was born on Saturday, April 4th, 1942 in Memphis, Tennessee. His musical journey began in church at the age of 5. In 1955, Bryant and his 4 brothers formed a gospel group called the 5 Bryant Brothers, who soon switched to doo-wop under the name The Quails. Not long after, Don joined with several high school friends in another doo-wop group named the 4 Canes, dedicated to their manager, local DJ D. Kane Cole of WLOK Radio. When they split with Cole, Bryant changed their name to the 4 Kings, and soon afterwards caught the attention of trumpeter band leader Willie Mitchell, who began performing with them around various clubs in Memphis. Bryant penned the group's single entitled Tell It To Me Baby, back with Walking At Your Will on the local label Stomper Time Records in 1958, billed as Willie Mitchell with the 4 Kings, with lead vocals provided by Don Bryant.
Oh, tell it to me, baby. Tell me what I want to hear. Yeah, tell it to me, baby. Tell me what I want to hear. Tell it to me, baby. When you are walking, you are walking at your will.
In 1964, Don Bryant signed with High Records as a solo artist and made his first recording with a cover of Chris Kenner's 1961 hit, I Like It Like That, back with My Baby, issued in February of 1965. Over the next 5 years, Bryant released several uncharted classic singles on High, as well as a few duets with singer Marion Brittenham. Don made appearances on a few TV shows, including The Beat, hosted by radio disc jockey Hoss Allen, taped in Nashville, Tennessee in 1966. In 1969, Bryant released his only solo album with High Records entitled Precious Soul. Regardless of his past disappointments, Don soon found his true calling with the High family as a staff writer, in which he really enjoyed doing. Amongst his many collaborations, including O.V. Wright, Otis Clay, and Albert King, his teaming with Ann Peebles proved to be something special, unique, and magical. The two started dating in 1972. Through the years, Don spent most of his time writing and opening shows for Peebles. He also focused on gospel albums during the 1980s and the 1990s, and stopped performing altogether outside of church services.
I got to get back to my baby.
Don Bryant was invited to perform as a vocalist with the Memphis-based soul homage outfit, the Bo Keys, after a mutual conversation with producer Scott Bomer and former High Records drummer Howard Grimes. The Bo Keys and Don recorded Don't Give Up on Love, issued on Fat Possum on Friday, May 12, 2017. Don Bryant's contribution to the Memphis Soul era should be duly noted and celebrated, and not forgotten in music history.
But it won't be tonight.
Within time, Ann Peebles and Don Bryant's working relationship had blossomed into a romance. They were married in 1974. The couple welcomed a son soon after. After I Can't Stand the Rain, 3 more singles were released from the self-titled album. The first was issued in May of 1974 entitled You Keep Me Hanging On, Joe Simon's 1968 Grammy-nominated remake, back with Heartaches, Heartaches, charting number 37 R&B on June 8th of 1974. also nominated a Grammy for Best R&B Vocal Performance Female for You Keep Me Hanging On, but lost to her idol Aretha Franklin's Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing in 1975. The second single, Do I Need You, back with A Love Vibration, number 57 R&B, July 1974. The third issue, Until You Come Into My Life, a beautiful, sweet ballad, was an uncharted single.
Boy, you made me feel so good inside.
High released Ann's fourth album, Tellin' It, in 1975. It stalled at the number 41 position on the R&B LP charts on January 17, 1976. It yielded 3 singles. First, Beware, back with You Got to Feed the Fire, number 69 R&B, June 21st, 1975.
You better beware of the dog that bring the bone. She's only trying to break up your home. You got to feed the fire to make the flame of love go higher.
Come to Mama, back with I'm Leaving You, number 62 R&B, December 20th, 1975.
Just come to mama. Come on to mama. Going away. I'm leaving you. I think that's the best thing I can do.
The Lovesick Dr. Love Power, back with I Still Love You, number 57 R&B on March 13th of 1976.
Think I'm gonna call my Dr. Love Power, and I just called you up to say I still love you, baby.
Another single, Fill This World With Love, back with I Don't Lend My Man, was released in late 1976, froze at number 96 R&B in December.
We got to fill this world with love. We got to fill this world with love. I'll lend anything I got, long as you understand that I just don't lend my man.
1977 was the year that drastic changes took place at High Records. Their association with London Records had terminated, so the label was seeking for a new distributor. The company president, Nick Pescew, sold High to Al Bennett's Cream Records in Los Angeles. Many considered that deal to be the end of the High era. Willie Mitchell was offered a new contract and remained at the label until the end of 1979. By 1980, Mitchell departed from High to start his new founded imprint, Bearsville. The High rhythm players also departed because of contractual disputes.
And this feeling is out of control, touching the people that are young and the people that are old.
During the transition, High issued 2 albums on Ann Peebles. If This Is Heaven, an LP intended for the Staple Singers in 1977, along with a self-titled single, If This Is Heaven, back with When I'm In Your Arms, hit number 64 R&B on July 30th of 1977.
This is heaven. Lead me to hell. When I'm in your arms. When I'm in your arms. Laying in your arms. Laying in your arms.
Peebles' final high album, The Handwriting is on the Wall, a prophetic title, was issued in 1979, releasing 3 underrated classics. Old Man with Young Ideas, back with A Good Day for Lovin', number 54 R&B, May of 1978.
Old man with a young ideas. Unbelievable the way that it makes me feel. It's such a good day. Good day for loving.
I Didn't Take Your Man, back with Being Here With You, number 55 R&B, September 1978.
I didn't take your man. You gave him to me. It's so wonderful being here with you.
And her last charted single, If You Got the Time, I've Got the Love, back with Let Your Love Light Shine, number 95 R&B, April 1979.
You still got my number. And if you got the time, I've got the love. I've got the love. Everybody's got a little love light. All you got to do is let it shine.
Although Willie Mitchell produced and engineered the session, the high rhythm players were missing. Only the bass player Leroy Hodges appeared. And Peebles recorded her last uncharted single for the label in 1981 entitled Mon Bel Amour, back with Waiting, a duet with her husband Don Bryant, who came out of retirement. With a new production team in charge of the company, Ann Peebles decided that now was the time for a hiatus. Peebles says she backed off because everything had changed. It was different people. Cream Records had came out of California, and even though we were still cutting at high, things just weren't the same anymore. So I decided I'd take a break and get my hair cleared to see where I was going. Plus, I really wanted to dedicate my time to my child. During her time off, Ann was still writing and doing work. She and her husband Don Bryant founded a gospel label, By Faith, a school, and many other things. By this time, Don Bryant became a full-fledged minister. In 1989, Ann Peebles returned back to the studio and released her comeback album with Willie Mitchell entitled Call Me. It was cut at Royal Studios and issued on Mitchell's short-lived Walo label.
Call me when you need some love and care.
It was a commercial disappointment.
Call me and you know I'll be right there.
Nevertheless, it brought Ann Peebles back to the spotlight.
Anytime, night or day.
In 1990, Ann and the Walo Records family, including Willie Mitchell, Otis Clay, David Hudson, and Lynn White, toured Europe. The event was captured on an album called A Memphis Soul Night, live in Europe, released on Walo. Ann Peebles released her first album on Rounder in 1992 called Full Time Love, with a remake of I Can't Stand the Rain and a cover of the Rolling Stones' 1978 hit Missing You. The rest of the LP, all original compositions by Ann, her husband Don Bryant, and Thomas Bingham. She was reunited with both the high rhythm section and the Memphis Horns. Peebles also guested on several albums with Maria Moldura, known for her recording of Midnight at the Oasis in 1974. In 1996, the Fill This World with Love album was released also on Rounder Bullseye Blues label. And continued to perform. And in 2006, she released the album Brand New Classics, consisted of re-recordings of some songs in an acoustic style. Peebles also joined Cyndi Lauper on a recording of Rolling and Tumbling on Lauper's 11th studio album, Memphis Blues, released in June of 2010.
Well, I could have religion, this battle thing instead. Well, I could have religion, this battle thing instead.
Sadly, in 2012, Ann Peebles suffered a stroke, which sidelined her professionally. Peebles' great body of work has been celebrated through issues of countless albums and CD compilations throughout the years and has been sampled by many hip-hop artists, including RZA and Wu-Tang Clan. Ann's classic 1972 hit, I'm Gonna Tear Your Playhouse Down, was featured in Netflix #1 series, The One, Episode 7, in March 2021.
I'm gonna tear your playhouse down pretty soon.
Ann Peebles have wonderful recollections of her days at High Records. She's proud to say that she doesn't have one bad memory of her experience there.
I need something soft to comfort me when I'm falling down.
Ann Peebles captivate her listeners with a thought of feeling through a multiple of personalities expressed in her songs. A touch of sass, class, and vigor. Her dedication and contributions in music will continue to be honored and regarded with the greatest respect and enjoyment by global fans all over. Let's just be thankful that the music outlives the woman. Sunrise or sunset. Until we meet again, musically soul fans, I am the Chancellor of Soul.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories.
Soul Facts, a show written, created, produced, and copywritten by the Chancellor of Soul, Mike Boone. Soul Facts is a nonprofit music presentation.